Wow. We are in 2025. I feel like I was just born yesterday.
You were, Zach. You
Well,
were.
2002 was, for me, a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
You're 2003?
I'm 2004.
What?
Wow. The baby. The
Wow.
infant in the room.
And his
I'm
voice
also,
is deeper than
I'm
mine.
also 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shutting
Um,
off my lower voice.
Do you think that this movie that we are about to review takes you back to a simpler time in film?
I don't know if it takes me back to a simpler time, but it takes me back to a magical time. Because I don't know that I would describe this movie as simple.
No, it also came out like really close to 9/11.
Although I will say, we don't get this
I'm just saying, like,
this 2D animation
chaos.
that much anymore,
yeah,
sadly.
yeah. But my point is, like, I didn't think I would be here today. When I was born, straight out of the womb, I immediately thought, what am I going to do with my life? The pressure of the world came on me as I entered into the light. And I felt the modern pressures of technological advancement, AI, surpassing us, and the economy. I think that was my biggest concern, was like the economy. And I think my doctor was like, your son is thinking about a lot of we sense his brainwaves, his delta waves, and they're really high in this individual, especially in his prefrontal cortex. He's a strong leader. He needs to lead an empire. And
they told your parents, they said, we need to take him away to the institute and train him up to be the next leader of our nation. And your parents said no. Your parents denied your calling and your everything that the signs were pointing to, and they selfishly took you and raised you.
Yeah, but my delta waves are still here. They're still here in the prefrontal. So, anywho, today we're gonna talk about Spirited Away. It is a 2001 Japanese animated fantasy film directed by Hayao Miyazaki.
One of the masters.
Oh yeah, he might be the master.
The master of animated films.
Yes, and we're finishing out our arc. Our arc of the 7 deadly sins.
We should have done a mukbang.
What does that mean?
Like, you've never done, like, you get like so much food, and then you're just on video and you're just going.
ASMR. Ugh.
You know what? I watched the first 20 minutes of The Substance, and there's that scene where I think it's Josh Brolin. I could be wrong. It could be
What's
a different
The
actor.
Substance again?
It's this horror movie that came out last year. It's like a body horror movie, and they have this really close up of this guy eating shrimp, and he's just going, and it's like disgusting, like it's like gross, but it's like also like captivating, like you like can't stop watching it. So that reminded me of Gluttony and the theme of this movie. And it sort of reminded me of Spirited Away. I mean, Spirited Away also had these like food scenes as well. But yeah, we should have done a mukbang. You could have pizza, chicken wings, Whoppers, Big Macs, and then you just eat like as much as you can, and you like film it. So I think that should be a new thing that we do.
When my brother was born in 2005.
Where's he going with this?
The womb is sort of at the forefront of conversation today.
Yeah. I remember I was 3 years old, and one of the nurses came in with like a popsicle. And
that would have been me, by the way, now. Except for I don't work in L&D, but
and I don't know
besides that.
I don't know if you
I also would be like,
popsicles.
Little kid, you don't get a popsicle. We got to save those for the staff.
It was a that was great. It was a push pop. You know those orange push pops?
Yeah.
You push the stick up, and it tastes like
Creamsicle.
yeah, it tastes like metal, right? But like delicious creamsicle. But it tastes like a factory, and you you open it up and you push it up, and it just tastes like a hospital, you know. But I loved it, and to be honest, I did not care that my brother was born that day.
Because you had a push pop.
Because I had a push pop.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the nurse was distracting me, because I was in the room when everything was happening. They were screaming. There was, wah. And my brother's a whiner anyway. Like, actually, I'm more of a whiner than him now. And I just remember thinking, like, I don't care anymore. I don't. So that's what this movie is to me. I love this movie so much, guys. It's a 5-star film for me with a heart on Letterboxd. To me, you know how much that means to me.
That does
it's
mean
a 5-star and a
that
heart.
does mean a lot.
I showed it to your wife. You were there as well. Above reproach. Like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little less than a month ago, you watched it with my wife.
Oh, man, just the ambiance. I want to go into a bathhouse and just be with the Radish spirit and just like enjoy life in this magical bathhouse where witches and goblins roam. Just flip a coin, put the bath key in, and it pours it in, and you're just sitting there. And that's what the orange popsicle is for me. All like my medical career, my ministry career, whatever for now. While I'm watching this movie, it's my orange popsicle. Forget Caleb. Forget my brother. Truly forget him. In every essence, my delta waves are focusing on this orange popsicle. So I just needed to say that.
Well, that's it, folks. We can go home now.
That is, really, it's a dramatic way to say I love this film.
Yeah, this movie is awesome. I only gave it 4.5, and I was really, really on the fence. I was like, I might give it a 5. What's holding it back for me might be like a stupid reason, but I feel like I haven't watched enough Studio Ghibli movies, and I'm just worried there's going to be the one that just like really speaks to me the most, and I'm going to be like, this is like the perfect. But then why can't they all be 5? I don't know. So maybe it'll still get to 5-star because I was really, really thinking about it after this viewing because it is an incredible movie. And it's one of those movies that's so, even compared to the other Studio Ghibli movies, it's so, their like expectations are like so high for this movie. Because it did get all the award nominations and everything back when it came out.
Yes, it did.
And it's probably still like considered the masterpiece of Miyazaki by the general population of people. But what else is there? It's so good. And the soundtrack, that's what really struck me this time. The soundtrack is it's just a little off the keys.
Yes.
And it's just so magical. And
it's so peaceful, serene is the word I think of. The two little girls and their dad moving to this, really farmland area on the side in the mountains. And wait, I'm thinking of Totoro. Never mind. That's the beginning.
No,
did we also watch Totoro?
We watched Totoro.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the serene driving through the forest, and I confused it with the sisters.
The amusement
They're
park.
in the Audi, and they make a wrong turn.
And you walk in, and you go through this tunnel, and it's just like this open land, and it's like there's birds chirping, and there's hills in the mountains. I was confusing the mountains.
And I think the reason they chose an Audi specifically is because they wanted to make the point that if they were in a Japanese manufactured car, they wouldn't have made that mistake. No, instead they're in a German car.
Oh, I see.
The rivalry,
but it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake.
You're right. It's not a mistake.
At the end of the day, it's the best thing that could have happened. And yeah,
Mom, Dad, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't go in there. So why do you think like she has like this like spidey sense that what they're doing is off? And they're just like, no, it's fine. Everything's fine.
It's like the Polar Express when only the kids can hear the bell, It's like there's still a little bit of belief in magic. Whereas the dad's like, it's okay, honey.
Look at all this food.
Yeah.
We have cash, credit cards. We
Yeah.
have everything.
I'll just put it on my car. Get as much as you want. Yeah.
They definitely added the credit cards when they did the English dub.
You think?
Probably.
They don't use credit?
I don't know. But they added a lot of things, apparently, to explain to
that
American
makes sense.
viewers.
That makes sense. And some things still don't make sense, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Just some of the ways that they interact. But I don't know how a bathhouse works. I don't know if you literally have to turn the wheel in the basement. I don't think so. But yeah, then obviously this is greed. Or no, gluttony. Greed was Fargo. This is gluttony. So it starts with the parents, right? And the parents are kind of pigging out, literally, with their food there. And they get cursed by the area, the witch or whatever, and they are pigs, and then they join the other pigs, and the main character, little girl, has to go and save them. and that journey takes place mainly in a bathhouse where she works in the background of the bathhouse with all the workers and tries to figure out how to make her way to the top.
I want a job.
Yeah,
Give me a job.
exactly. With help, and it's Yubaba's bathhouse. She is the witch lady.
Very good looking lady there.
Yeah. Funny enough, like the animation is just incredible in this. So like, there's a lot of details with the animation, and it's like the frames aren't skipped. It's not like anime where it's like, "Hey everybody," and it's like the mouth doesn't move. It's like literally all animated. So it's not an anime film, even though they kind of look like they're anime-esque.
Yeah, I guess that's a good distinction to make, because when you think of Studio Ghibli, you kind of like lump it in with anime because you're like, well, it's from Japan, but it does have a very distinct style that does not feel like anime at all.
Definitely more frames per second than anime.
Yeah.
It's more like
Well, FPS.
but it doesn't feel like Disney either.
Is this Disney?
No, that's what I'm
okay.
saying. It's
I was
not.
about to say.
Well, I'm just comparing it to like
Oh, not at all.
the 2D animation of Disney.
Oh, this is much better.
Yeah.
Oh, much better. Yeah, so Chihiro is the main girl, and she, has this other friend. I can't remember the little boy's name.
Haku?
Yeah, yes, and he's the dragon. And they become friends, and he kind of helps her make her way to the top with Yubaba to get the job. She finally gets the job, and she works with some other people. And long story short, this whole bathhouse encounter is just leading up to this really big glob monster coming into the bathhouse. And she finally cleans him, and like she's kind of vindicated as she's not this lowly girl anymore.
And
She's
the
high.
spirit gives them money, right? Lots
Yes.
of money.
But that was the No Face who gave them money.
Oh, so the
Yes.
different spirits.
Yes. So the spirit that was the glob was this dirty spirit that kind of comes in, and she cleans him, and it's like this ancient dragon, right? And then the other time, No Face comes in because No Face loves Chihiro, and just follows Chihiro around because Chihiro had left the door open for him. So I think he attached himself to her. He also kind of mimics, so I wonder if that's part of it too. It's like he eats someone and gains their voice. So he ate the frog and he gained the frog's voice. And then,
So he's a little gluttonous himself.
well, yes, that's
Yeah.
a big part of it too. So I think that, and then the whole idea of the bathhouse being gluttonous, and then being a glutton for money at the top with
Right.
Yubaba. So I think everybody's kind of in it for their own personal excess of something. Excess of money, excess of comfort, excess of voices or personalities, excess of food. So when I did a Google AI search of what could be some relations of Spirited Away and gluttony, it said, actually, Zach, you're right. This film seems to actually have a lot of gluttony in it. And I said, thank you, Google AI search. Thank you for doing what you always do and confirming everything I say.
Yeah, because there's not that many movies about gluttony. We wanted to save
There aren't?
the whale. Well, not specifically like the central theme being gluttony
With food
with
or
food.
overindulgence.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies about greed. Like you can tie greed and gluttony. That's the thing you learn with these seven
Are
deadly
shark
sins.
movies gluttony movies because the sharks
That's
want
a
to
good
eat?
point.
Yeah.
Um,
Because they don't eat, like they're just doing it.
I also was like, there's a whole genre of like cannibal movies. Would those be considered gluttony?
Like
You want to eat someone's flesh. That's how.
Depends on how
gluttonous you
hungry
are.
they are.
yeah, it depends on the circumstance.
I
Like
guess
if
there could be
if they could eat something else, sure. Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be some like, I think, like I said, the substance. It's probably not main themes, but you could have. But there's got to be some like weird horror movie, like body horror movies where you could tie gluttony in, where it's just like gross. But this isn't that, so we don't have to talk about that. This is everything is like you said, so serene. Even as like the bathhouse gets exposed for what it is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yes.
like the characters like No Face, like they're so odd because he'll go do something like eat a bunch of people, but then still be like following Chihiro and be like,
That's
oh,
just
it's
what he
No
does.
Face.
You know.
He's
Yeah.
so mysterious and
Yeah.
interesting. And I saw on
He's
YouTube,
so quirky.
on YouTube there's a
just
lot
eats
of videos that are like No Face explained, or like
Yeah.
who is No Face, or like this movie definitely lends itself to a lot of those sort of like videos that are like, what is this about? But I think that's kind of the westernized, like Americanized take on this movie, where we're used to movies having like these, like, you know, they're kind of like mysteries and you solve them and then you're like, yep, that's nice.
No, this is not a Christopher Nolan film. This is a Miyazaki film, and this, at the end, she kind of lifts the curse by she goes to the other sister, the twin sister of Yubaba, and leaves No Face there, gets some help from her, and then comes back with the baby of Yubaba and kind of like reconciles by, I think she like picks the right something. I can't remember. She has to pick her parents out of the pigs, and she picks the right ones by saying, none of these are my parents. So she gets her real name back, you know, and Chihiro gets to see her parents restored. Tressel, what was your reaction to the first time watching this?
I really liked it. Yeah, it was good. It was, you know, a very pretty animation, like you told me, and the music was very good as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty peaceful. Obviously not as peaceful as like My Neighbor Totoro, but it was still peaceful, but also chaotic at times.
Yes.
But the way it did chaos still made it intact. Like it kept the prettiness of the film intact. But yeah, it was really good. I liked it. I would watch it again. I'm sure I'd like it more every time I watch it. But
yeah. I can't wait to rewatch it again.
Yeah.
And since we did things a lot of order, do you want to get to the question of the day so we can do the arc reflection right after?
Yeah, sorry about the popsicle thing. Kind of.
Sorry, I bombed this movie.
No, that's okay.
Intro.
Yeah, we're gonna get another negative review about this.
Yeah, listen, it's gonna take a long time for me to recover from that 2-star review saying I'm an amateur.
I'm afraid we might have unlocked a new Zach.
Oh yeah. Wrathful Zach. I'm gonna watch a lot of Taxi Driver here soon.
We'll get right into that more in a second. Today we have our question of the day. Which movie villain do you secretly hope wins as you're watching?
Miguel O'Hara is he a villain?
I mean, he's definitely antagonist, but I wouldn't say he's the villain. I would say Spot is the villain.
Okay. I don't want Spot to win.
Because Miguel means well.
I don't know. I really like the way that people like Doctor Strange or Miguel O'Hara or Thanos think. It's like I sound like a psychopath or like a crazy guy saying that, but elements of how they think is kind of how I think as well. I would never do what Thanos did. Don't worry.
But what he thought he was doing the right thing in his head, and he was like, no one's gonna stop me from, because it came from his childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm. I think from his perspective, he's the hero. And it's not that I want to like be in a tunnel and think I'm the hero even though I'm wrong. It's like to some degree, like he thinks he's doing it for a noble cause and he's standing up against the universe to do it, right? He's all alone. So like if I were presented with the right choice, the wrong choice, I would want, even though Thanos' choice wasn't right, I would want to pick the right choice against all odds if I think it's right. So I respect his willpower and follow through.
Yeah.
You could say that about a lot of people throughout history, and it gets really dangerous. Like I respect their follow through, and about a lot.
Like I respect this aspect about them.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I will say, like, my answer is not Thanos. I'm gonna stick with Miguel O'Hara. I think Miguel O'Hara is right 3 times over. I mean, Miles Morales, he's probably gonna, figure it out and teach Miguel O'Hara a lesson in the 3rd Spider-Verse. But I think in reality, Miguel O'Hara is right. I think that philosophy usually sticks through. Like, you can't sacrifice everybody for, your own personal vendettas. So
I'm struggling with this one.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a hard one to...
Did you just click Inglourious Bastards? Isn't the bad guy Hitler?
No, I did not click that one. Man.
This is a good question.
It is a good question. Like, my mind immediately goes to, like, Walter White and Breaking Bad, but it, like, feels like not really like a...
You have to be Gus.
Or it'd have to be Gus.
Yeah.
I could get behind that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could get behind Gus winning. Gus Fring has the facade of sort of being the put-together businessman, and he's, like, involved in the community, so you could argue that he's, like, using his his nefarious money, ways that he makes money for good things too. Whereas some of the other villains in that universe are not. And he's it'd be easier to get sucked into his the way that he presents himself than with some of the other characters. Even if you maybe have a harder time believing that he did some of the things that he did. And you could get, he has a sort of a revenge storyline too. So you could kind of get sucked into that too, I think, a little bit with Gus. Would you watch a Gus show? I feel like we don't need one, but
no. I wouldn't have said that we need a Better Call Saul show.
Yeah, because I was like, they do show his backstory like a decent amount.
They show a lot of Gus's, but they didn't show much of Saul's. So it was nice to get that.
What about a Mike Ehrmantraut show?
That would be interesting.
Water.
But yeah,
he becomes another character, and then he goes into season 5 Community, because that's his he changes his name. Of course, he doesn't make it.
Water can't kill me. I'm gonna retire. Community college.
He's still alive. What do you think, Tress?
He shot me.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to go with like the basic answer of like Thanos or something, but a lot of before asking this, I read like a list of like the most villains who actually had a point, and I saw one that was Mr. Freeze only wanted to steal enough money to invest in cryogenic research because his wife was dying of cancer, and Batman just keeps beating him up. But I've never seen that Batman, so I don't think that I could do that one.
It's an interesting one though, yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't he just have asked Batman for the money? He didn't know he was Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you have to guess at some point, like, man, Batman's got a lot of money. He's got a Batmobile. Like, he's making items of regular life into a bat.
In The Dark Knight, they really like play up that like he can really fund himself so much, like with the. But you'd be like, how do you hide? Yeah, how do you hide that? I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, my answer would be like from movies that don't really have a bad guy. Like The Prestige. They're both bad. They're both good. Like you're seeing both of their point of views, like back and forth.
Are you copping out of the answer, or
kind of?
Okay.
I don't have a good answer.
Okay.
But I feel like I would.
So you're not picking Schindler's List.
I've never seen it. So.
Okay. No Face is my favorite bad guy. No, I'm just kidding.
He kind of turns out.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes, I am bad, and that is good. And that's
But-
not bad. I don't remember something like that.
Not to get into more Avengers stuff like he said about Thanos, but I hope they do a good job of this with Doom, making his reasonings not just seem like, oh, I'm bad.
Well,
for bad
in
sake.
the comics, Doom created a world that was free of crime.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he had the right answers. It's just he had to force it. That was the problem.
Yeah.
And my favorite maybe in literature is the Lisan al-Gaib and Dune Messiah as the villain. Not to spoil it for everyone, but we'll see how they do it with the movies. But he takes more of a villainous turn, and it's really interesting. So,
I covered my ears.
Is it kind of spoiling if it's a book from like
no
centuries
I mean,
or decades
century
ago?
I mean, it's probably 50 years at this point, at least. 1960s.
Wow.
Yeah.
What can we say? So, Spirited Away is the end of our 7 Deadly Sins arc. So I thought we could reflect on the arc for a little bit.
Nothing like a little nostalgia.
Let me just read the lineup with the category. Gluttony, Spirited Away. Lust, The Graduate. Sloth, Office Space. Wrath, Taxi Driver. Envy, The Prestige. Greed, Fargo. Pride, Scarface.
What an impressive lineup of movies that we picked.
Yeah. I mean, you picked. And these are all... I didn't love The Graduate. And Office Space was great, but it wasn't like Scarface. You know what I mean? I would have to say, out of these, it would go Scarface, Spirited Away. No, it would go, Scarface, Spirited Away.
Wow.
Fargo, Taxi Driver, The Prestige, Office Space, The Graduate.
I would go... I have to remember what my last rankings would. I think it would go Taxi Driver, The Prestige. No. Taxi Driver, Spirited Away.
Don't forget Scarface.
The Prestige, Fargo.
Are you serious? Scarface is number 5.
Office Space, Fargo, and then The Graduate. I think all of these
You
movies.
said Fargo twice. Did you mean to say Scarface?
I think I meant to say Scarface. But I think all of these movies are in my top 100 besides Scarface. Actually, The Graduate might be above Scarface. I'm not even kidding.
Why?
I don't know.
That's
I just
such
like
a-
all these movies.
That's not what I'm saying. Why don't you like Scarface?
I like Scarface. It's just
doesn't
not in
seem
my
like
top
it.
100.
I've never seen Scarface or Fargo, so I'd
I
probably.
think, like, I don't know. Scarface is like a little, like, hammy. I don't know exactly what.
What does that even mean?
Like,
On the nose.
yeah, like compared to some of those other.
What does
movies.
hammy mean?
Like, it's
Is that a
like-
real word?
Yeah, it's just like,
Like
it's a
meathead?
little stuffy, you know. It's a little like in your face about what it is compared to some of those other movies.
It insists upon itself.
I wouldn't say that, but maybe it's just the phase of life I'm in. I appreciate those other movies more. than
I think you're
Scarface.
going through a phase.
Yeah, you think I'll come back on Scarface?
Oh yeah,
and be
I think
like,
you will.
When you start your
Well, it's
cocaine
also
empire.
just, I'm not convinced.
I haven't been this
I'm
offended
not
in a little
convinced
bit.
it's like Pacino's like best performance either. Like, because like Dog Day Afternoon and Serpico are like so much.
Well,
like,
Godfather. I think
Godfather, like, and so I'm not sure the story like does it for me.
that was not my point, though. My point was the movie itself is crafted in such a cool way. I don't like the sister stuff. I don't like that.
Yeah, but that's just De Palma. He's kind of a weirdo.
Yeah, but De Palma made such like a masterful storytelling way, like throughout the years of time in Cuba to the U.S. immigration and stuff like that, and then slowly building his empire, and then like you see all the signs and leading up to
The
his fall.
Well, let's get into it. We're going to go why each one is bad, because obviously they're sins, and sin is bad.
Yes,
How is,
by the way, that's our theme.
Yes.
Sin is bad. Sin bad.
yeah, so if you're accusing us of glorifying these sins through we're teaching you why you should watch these movies. Because some people would be like our character in Black Phone 2 yesterday would be like, you should only think the things that are right. She's quoting Philippians 4:8. So some
Oh,
people
keep your mind on things above.
yes.
That's Colossians 3. You're thinking of thinking about what is honorable, and then she's like also, but what is just, true, and or she was thinking what is pure, and she's like also what is true and just.
Yes.
Let's start from the bottom and
Yeah, I
work our way
completely
up.
butchered that, but thank you, Zach, for saving me.
Finish at Spirited Away. So let's start with Pride and Scarface. I didn't watch it, so how was Pride shown, and how was Pride the bad?
Well, since I'm the only one who appreciated it, let me talk. So
That's
he
not true, by the way.
whatever he not even in your top 100. That's crazy. I bet you is there a shark movie in your top 100?
No.
Okay.
Although Jaws
Jaws.
maybe should be, but it's
Anyway.
not, I don't think.
So is Master and Commander in your top
No,
100?
it's not.
Okay, then all right, then we're fine. Is Trolls?
Trolls is not in my top
Okay,
100.
sorry. I need to talk about Scarface. Scarface is a cocaine empire in pursuit of power until he falls. Wonderful. It shows pride because he thinks he can do whatever he wants. Since the beginning of the film, he kind of goes to whatever character in the film, and like he'll go up to the mob boss who's in charge of him, and he's like kind of threatening him, right? He's like asserting dominance out of pride. Like he thought since the beginning that he was the best. And he always says, like, I deserve these things. And he thought he deserved the girl. He thought he deserved the empire. He thought he deserved all these things. And it worked out, right? Because confidence can get you kind of far sometimes. But ultimately, he falls by the same logic that got him to the top, which is, I think I deserve more. And he fell because he asked for more when he should have stopped. And when he asked for more, that included himself doing the drugs. So his pride was he set up no boundaries for himself, and he let himself be the king of the universe in his mind.
No.
Don't smelt what you dealt.
Yeah. What about for Fargo? Greed.
So for Fargo, we have William H. Macy's character who is envious of his. He's not only envious of his father-in-law's money, but also his stature, and he's greedy to the point where he puts his wife at risk by the only way he can think of making money as what he thinks is sort of a fake kidnapping scenario, but turns out to be very real.
Yeah.
And it shows how a bunch of people are done in by their greed. I mean, he's not the only greedy character in this movie. The villains are greedy. The father-in-law is greedy. But then we also have the juxtaposition of them with Frances McDormand's character as the cop, who's so content, and her husband just makes art for postage stamps.
Yeah.
And they're just so content, and they just live their little life, and they face this like really dark homicide. And it's a great movie, but it does show greed very well.
And greed's hard to show because you can pretty much make anyone into greed. Like you could, envy is greeting what someone else has.
I think in our American culture, that's like one of the biggest sins is greed.
Yeah, I mean, every movie is about late stage capitalism. It's all about greed, right?
Yeah.
So Triangle of Sadness.
But I like this because the son is also greedy because he wants his mom back.
Yeah, that's just a very selfish thing. So
tell us about the Prestige, Tressel.
Yeah, so the Prestige are two.
You thought I was talking to you?
I was greedy for the attention.
I did that on purpose. I'm sorry.
I know you did. We're fighting. We're fighting right now.
You guys are the two from the Prestige. They're two coworkers feuding over stage magic tricks, an attempt to top each other, and envy obviously leads to both of them losing everything. They each want to become better and better, and sometimes you just have to be happy with who you are and what you do.
Why was that so beautiful? This is such a good movie. And I think you picked a perfect one for envy. I'll compliment you amidst my angst.
Wow.
Because
I must have really done something good there.
Yeah, because
it was the perfect envy movie, to be honest.
Like, they put their families on the line just to be better than the other person.
Yeah, you could kind of call it greed or pride, but like envy is really like encapsulates what they were doing.
I mean, pride kind of roots a lot of these sins, to be honest. Like, it's behind a lot of I deserve something.
I think that's why we started with pride, right? I don't know if that's how like you typically order the 7 deadly sins, but pride seems like it's always the root, so you should like put it first.
Yeah. Well, let me talk about Taxi Driver. So, Taxi Driver, a veteran reaches a breaking point and attempts a political shooting, then does shoot up a house with for just one young girl.
A brothel, if you were wondering.
A whorehouse. I wasn't afraid of saying that word.
A house of ladies of the night.
Picked one of the two. Yeah. So also a good film. I mean, it's pretty clear. Like, his wrath is gun violence. His wrath is PTSD related. He needs cognitive. What's the CPT?
PTSD.
Yeah, but no.
He needs cognitive behavioral therapy.
No, that's CBT. I'm thinking of CPT is for PTSD. Cognitive processing therapy.
Neither of those things probably they had really developed
at
this time.
But it like helps you. I mean, a lot of Christian circles, they use it because it disconnects. A lot of times, like, your body will have an innate reaction to a certain thought, and it really is biological. And you reprogram your brain, and you kind of like activate your brain in certain ways so that it doesn't have to have that physical reaction when you think of something. Anyway, so wrath is that related.
Yeah, and it also just shows like he is setting himself up as God or as like a moral, like his way of
his judgment.
Yeah, it's his judgment. It's not God's judgment. And he is the person who will wipe the stink off the earth. But he set himself up as such.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go shut my dog up real quick. You keep talking.
Okay, I'll talk about Office Space. So this one's about sloth, but it's it's not exactly people who feel like they have to be lazy. It's more of the circumstances that push them to be lazy. And then they're sort of like unlazy in their laziness and the fact that they create a scheme to rip off their company. But it's also kind of to make a point about how corporate workforces have really lost their way in terms of like being able to motivate workers and make them feel part. And the rise of technology in our culture has made us feel like disassociated with a lot of the things that we were doing. Whereas back in the day, you would have done a profession where you would be directly interacting and seeing the results of your labor. Like say you're blacksmith. You make horseshoes. You give them to people, put them on horses. That's not really a job anymore unless you work at like one of those festivals,
Yeah.
or some really niche job. Instead, you're like a computer programmer, and you make a software that like debugs something that like somewhere along the chain might help somebody somewhere, but it's so far away that you just are like, what is the point of even, like, is my role even necessary? You're questioning all these things. And it also has to do with a guy who's sort of having a midlife crisis in a sense too. With his relationship and with what the point of his life, and he ends up finding purpose in working with his hands again and having a good relationship with his significant other instead of an unhealthy one.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. We support that on the Movie Vault.
We support good things. We support goodness.
Yeah.
And good relationships.
Okay. Amen.
All right. Do you want me to talk about The Graduate too?
Sure.
So
yeah.
Since I'm the only one who likes it.
I was going to say you're the one who likes it.
Yeah. So we got this character named Ben who is similar to Peter actually in a lot of ways in that he doesn't really have a purpose in his life, but he also has no semblance of a work ethic whatsoever. Like not even like, it's not a misplaced work ethic. He just has no work ethic. And he, in his like sort of loneliness and laziness, he gets involved in a relationship with an alcoholic wife of his dad's business partner. So somebody who's 20, 30 years older than him. And that leads to the destruction of their marriage and the potential destruction between his relationship with her daughter, which sort of becomes a thing through the second half of the movie, although they end up still having a relationship and getting married at the end. But as someone just said, the final scene, it's kind of like the expressions on their faces as the movie ends is interesting because he's kind of like go back and forth between like smiling and being like, we got out of this, and being like, wait, what did we do? Like, oh my gosh, like what is happening
There's some
right now?
kid-like confusion
So,
in there. Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have like great resolution. It just shows like how lust is a lot of times empowered by thoughtlessness, laziness, allowing your base fleshly desires to consume your life and not thinking at all about the consequences.
The flesh is the perfect one. That's what the Bible talks about. But it's like these are all mixed up. Like you can't, but like you kind of pick a movie that like might highlight a certain aspect of that flesh, right? That glob of flesh that's in us. And I think like, lust is definitely driven by sloth, 100%.
I think that's the thing with the seven deadly is how they all are interlinked with each other.
Yeah.
Because gluttony could be linked with sloth, you know.
And pride too. Like I deserve this, you know. Like I'm good enough. I don't have to withstand. Abstaining from this, you know.
And I was waiting. I didn't want to write this to spoil anything for you guys. Spirited Away, the director, actually based this movie off of the seven deadly sins.
We are so smart.
And so that was why I wanted to do that one last.
Wait, how so?
Yeah, I'll get into it. So,
this is crazy.
lust, almost all of the spirits that are in the bathhouse are male, and almost all of the workers are female. And so it's a common thing for them, you know, relations to spark off of that if the males had a certain amount of money in a bathhouse.
Thanks for explaining, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm not trying to be rude.
They really disguised that in the kids' movie, but that makes sense.
And then we'll get into gluttony more, obviously. Pride and wrath. Pride is a little bit where I don't know the best way to explain pride. I'll start with wrath. It's mainly shown during the part where, how do you say her name? Chihiro.
Like Chihiro, basically.
Yes. She was trying to get a job, and Yubaba went crazy and was throwing stuff off the table and getting angry and everything. Is what he, you know, there's not a ton of wrath in the movie, obviously, but that's what he said was his little bit of wrath.
Yeah, but her wrath is kind of shown as like the villain of this film. Like her wrath is always hanging over the plot of the film.
Yeah. And then sloth is mostly the scenes with the baby and the grandmother, who doesn't want to actually do her own things, and that goes into envy as well. is the grandmother, or I guess
I think it's her mother.
It's
It's
the
his
baby's mother.
Yeah.
The mother wants all the jewels and stuff, but doesn't want to work for it too,
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then greed is similar to gluttony. Everyone there is greedy. They all want to do things for themselves.
You can see when the money's being passed out how everyone, like the scene where they're all like have their like coffers up and they're like
Exactly.
they're just waiting for the money to fall, towards them.
Yeah. And then and then pride is the parents, they're so confident nothing's going to happen, like it's not bad, they can eat this food that's out, they have all the money that they could, do, so nothing could go wrong. But yeah, and then you guys can get into gluttony.
Well, that's interesting. Like, we just went over the 7 deadly sins. This is the final one.
You would think we would have picked 7, because 7 is the most obvious movie about. But I didn't want to pick that because first of all, gluttony is not a huge aspect of it, so it would have been kind of forced to say.
What Fincher films have we done?
We've done Social Network. We've done
The Game.
The Game. We haven't done many though, so I'm sure we'll have a Fincher arc
We could do 7, yeah.
at some point. We've done Fight Club, but you weren't here. One of the 2 episodes that Zach was not here.
I still haven't listened to it.
Yeah,
I
we might
need
have
to-
to do a redo of Fight Club at some point.
No. I'm content with, who was it, Jake?
Yeah.
I'm content with his.
No, it was a good episode, I'm sure. Because Zach wasn't here. No, I'm just kidding.
That one 2-star review would agree.
Beat him up while he's down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this movie, it seems like it's about gluttony, but when you think about it, it is about the 7 deadly sins, but in such a Japanese way. It's much more abstract and loosely tied together as opposed to the American, like, this movie is called 7 and it is about the 7 deadly sins. You know what I mean? Like, everything has to be like so rigid and kind of like, and I know these are generalizations. I'm sure you can find examples both sides, but I just appreciate that you come to the realization after watching it a couple of times instead of just being like, this is about this.
Yeah, and this was my third watch of Spirited Away, and I still hadn't even noticed that it's the 7 deadly sins.
I'm
but
not
it
sure
makes sense that you
on
said it
either.
So you said 4.5. I gave it 5. What'd you give it, Tressel?
I give it 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
So lower for you. It's okay. I just have a lot of emotions this morning, guys.
It's a rare time when Zach has rated a film higher than me.
Yeah.
Does it seems to usually go the other way? Maybe I've just picked out a lot of these movies though recently. So.
I think I just have a bipolar rating system where I'm either really, really low or really, really high.
Yeah. I was describing to Tressel how I think about rating movies, and at some point we're gonna do the great. It'd be cool if we had like a round table for this episode where it's just like you talk, like each person kind of like makes their argument for how you should rate movies.
That's a good outside the vault.
Yeah. That would be good to have O'Shea and Keener on.
Yeah.
Well, let's think about doing that.
Because you'll see how people are very different in how they view what rating even means.
Yeah. And I saw an interview with Jack Black this morning that kind of relates to this. I don't want to blame Zach for my rating, but he said that he hates when people give him any expectations going into a movie, where he's like, don't tell me it's good. Don't tell me you liked it even. Just say, I recommend this movie. That's it. He's like, I don't want to hear, oh my goodness, wait for the twist, anything like that, because that ruins it.
I will learn my lesson.
And so I knew, obviously we all have Letterboxd, so I know you guys' ratings for movies going into them, especially when it's a rewatch. So like this movie, Zach gave it a 5. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is going to be, the best movie I've ever seen, or one of. But it was still very, very good. I'm not here to downplay it at all. But
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Thank you. Because that's a pet peeve of mine when people give me expectations for films. Like, I didn't watch the trailer for Black Phone 2 last night. I bet if I did, I got a lot spoiled. I wish I didn't watch the Tron Ares trailer. It spoiled a lot.
That's been the bad part about going to these movies, is I always get there too early and I see the trailers.
I hate trailers now.
Yeah. But that, I think sometimes though, trailers nowadays, they're a little misleading. So you never really know what movie you're going to end up seeing based on the trailer at the same time. But there are some that are pretty egregious in how much they reveal about the movie. Like that movie, Primate. The whole movie was in that.
It's the new shark movie genre.
Yeah.
Monkey movies.
Monkey movies.
So
but I'll probably still watch it because it's in a dead month of January.
So what do you think let's think of like a core theme of this film. what would you guys say? I can go first while you think of it. If you guys even have a
I think I have one.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I would say confidence. I would say at the beginning the girl's scared. She doesn't want to go in there.
Yes.
She doesn't want to get a job. She doesn't want to be.
Yes.
Yeah. She just wants to run, go back to their new house. But by the end, she's confident. She saves. She finds his name. She literally saves the whole bathhouse twice. And she comes out of it very confident, kind of like that was her adolescent years of growing up and becoming confident.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that shift through people kind of like indirectly. Like nobody's like really encouraging to her, but there's some kind of encouragement. Like I think the first moment she is encouraged when after her parents turn into pigs is when that basement dweller guy like lies and protects her. Right? Like, what is she doing down here? It's my granddaughter, you know?
Yeah.
And he had given no sign of like that he was gonna support her in any way.
No. So I think it kind of showed her like, oh, there is some goodness out there, even though my expectation was fear that it was all terrible, and this guy's impression was a bad impression. Yet he still saved my life. So I think that was the first glimpse, and then obviously meeting Haku, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
And him kind of vouching for her and trying to find her name, and then realizing he's also in this situation. Like, I think just she's growing in confidence as people indirectly, give her opportunities to. So that's a great core thing. You got one, Ben?
I think hope. Like, why'd you look at me?
I didn't say anything. I'm just looking. Like, why can't I look at you?
Because you looked skeptical.
No,
Like
I'm not.
the movie, she seems like very lost, but there's always like this hope that she can return to her family, and that keeps her moving forward. And a lot of times in life, we're searching for hope.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things are hard, and you just like.
There's also a lot of breathing in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta think about the light at the end of the tunnel, even when it doesn't seem like there is one.
A lot of pixels on the screen.
That was such a cliche thing for me to say, but
That's okay.
movies bring us back to the most core parts of ourselves.
I think it's just a journey. I'm just joking. I'm not going to say that. It's about finding a
I
balance.
think it's really just a story, with like a sort
it's
of
the plot. It's just so good.
it's sort of like it has like a really good intro, and then it develops, and then there's a couple of like problems, and then they come up with solutions, and then there's a climax.
Yeah.
And then there's a satisfying ending. And I really think that is just like such a synopsis of how the medium of storytelling works.
I think another one is true service, because there is this whole framing of the movie in a bathhouse where, we talk about the 7 deadly sins. Greed is the heart of it, right? So there's no true acts of service. It's all either for money. They don't let people in without money, right? They treat people differently if they're harder to work with, right? It's very I don't want to say capitalist based and mean that in the most negative sense, but in some ways it's like a sinful, greedy sense. And the only things that kind of take that system down are true acts of service, like Haku sticking his neck out for Chihiro, or Chihiro cleaning that monster when she didn't have to, right? And I think those are things that kind of change the narrative for Yubaba to finally be able to let her go at the end.
Yeah, and I think to take it a step further, capitalism is predicated on people doing acts of service. That capitalism without people doing things unselfish, like for non-selfish motives or unselfishly, doesn't work. It turns into the hellscape that all these movies are pointing towards. So in some ways we watch these movies and we learn maybe the solution is that each of us kind of just looking at our own lives and thinking in what ways am I kind of clutching in my own greed. And we all have kinds of reasons, and some of them seem really good as to why we are greedy, or sometimes it's just we're protecting ourselves, but when you think about it, you're maybe I do have a lot more to give than I think I do. Yeah.
And you always do. You always have 2 kidneys.
And so instead of making it a system problem, which is what all these movies do.
It's a sin problem.
And it's an individual problem to be solved too, because what is a system made of but a bunch of people? And yes, there can be system problems, but I would encourage people to also think about their own way they can change their own little world. I'm being so I'm speaking in corporate speak today. I don't know how to describe it.
You're an HR representative.
Yeah.
You're a
So
true insurance agent.
I'm so diplomatic in my calls to action.
Yeah.
Maybe too diplomatic.
Yeah, so acts of service, hope, and courage / confidence those are some excellent themes. This movie made listen, I'm going to use the word, pardon my French, a buttload of money.
Cover your kids' ears, guys.
I'm going to do the exact amount of dollars, okay? $359,245,454.
That was worldwide.
Yes, and including re-releases.
That's
so
so
that's
crazy.
from the time
But that's
it came out.
still based on a $19 million budget.
Which is really low for how incredible the animation is. Imagine how much Pixar is spending on their $200 million on their movies, and this is better.
Because they very, very loosely, they had a few computer animated aspects supposedly, but it was very specifically done. Most of it was handwritten, Miyazaki overlooking the work, and doing some of it himself, obviously. And he also had to cut down a bunch, is what I read.
Yeah, and it was still one of the longest theatrical releases for an animated movie at the time.
Really?
Yeah, top 3.
Was it a little over 2 hours?
Yeah.
But I guess you're right. Animated movies are generally been in the 90-minute range.
And now we see them longer. But
yeah, but back then.
Yeah, they were all 90 minutes.
I'm trying to think of what longer animated movies I've seen.
I mean, I would guess that there would be some in the 2 hour. What do you think? Toy Story 3 is probably about 2 hours.
Probably. We're all looking up at the same time.
Type.
1 hour 43, but more than an hour and a half. Yeah, there's probably a lot of 1 hour 45 minute animated movies.
Yeah. But this movie also did not have a script when they started making it. He had the idea for it, and they started animating, and he put character dialogue where he thought was necessary, which this movie doesn't have a ton of talking, which I think is a theme with Studio Ghibli movies, it seems, from the 2 I've seen so far. I've also seen 2 older ones.
Well, yeah, it's not dialogue heavy. It's very ambiance heavy.
Yeah.
They don't fall into the Black Phone 2 trap.
I want to kill you.
But
I want to make you suffer in ways you can't imagine. I knew he was going to say that.
I was like, what other thing could they say in that moment that would not be that?
There are so many. Ask ChatGPT. They'll give you one, there are other ways than the boring ones. That's crazy, though, that to not start out with a script on this, with how well it turned, how good it turned out.
Yeah.
He said he wanted it to be simple, and I thought, when you watch it, it's kind of it is simple, the story, but the animation is so impressive, and the characters are so
yes,
there's so much going on, but
that it doesn't feel.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels kind of complicated when you're first the first time you watch it, I think.
Yeah.
But it's not because of the plot or the storyline.
And I think if you go either too chaotic or too simple, you lose the target audience, which is children. And so the way it's balanced now, I think kids could watch this and pay attention the whole time. Even iPad kids. There's enough colors. There's enough stuff going on. The animation still, holds up.
And this is what I'll say. Sydney is not an iPad kid at all. But she is she has to have, there's a higher threshold of movie that she needs for her specific tastes. So I'm happy she sat through this because I was thinking what kind of movies are fun but also actually art? Because, I don't love a lot of the movies that are watchable for most people with that threshold, but also are not art, right? There's a lot of that out there. The Kissing Booth is an example. And this seemed like that crossover. And I'm glad she liked it. I'm glad she watched Totoro with us as well.
Yes.
So hopefully we can do more.
Yeah.
There's a couple I haven't seen. Maybe we could go do those.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie won an Academy Award, which was a big deal for an anime film, because technically I think it categorizes the anime film for the Academy
That's
Awards.
because the United
don't know what they're
States
doing.
is just it's Japanese. Throw it in the, You know how culturally sensitive and nuanced we are over here.
But yeah. Another fun fact about the movie is every time No Face appears, there is Balinese gamelan, which I looked it up and it's like music with like flutes and drums.
Yes.
Like, kind of like a woodsy, foresty type of music sounding.
Oh, there's a motif.
Yes. No, I noticed that.
I learned this in my 20th century music class.
Wow.
Talked about motifs. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
That was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot that we graduated a while ago.
Yeah, I know. It's
My
been a
bad.
while. So we do have some film knowledge to you out there.
Look, I have. Where is it? Complete Idiot's Guide to Movies, Flicks, and Film. Who called? Hey guys, welcome to the Flick Vault.
With some good flicks. So movie high and lows. Oh, and you pointed out that Disney and Pixar helped get the English dub out into the U.S. I think they had like 10% investment in the the movie, and they had right of first refusal, so they had a little skin in the game.
Yeah. They
Hey, good
definitely
for them.
Probably
It's a good
saw how
movie.
successful it was there and was like, oh, we can make some money.
If there's something that Disney's good at, it's figuring out what other people are good at and figuring out how to make money off of that.
But this movie, it worked. Like, that scheme worked because it's big in the U.S. Spirited Away is the biggest Ghibli film in the U.S.
Although now-
and Totoro.
Although now, what does they have some sort of deal with Warner Brothers because Max has?
Yes, and AMC. So they're actually, this week only, they're showing Spirited Away at AMC.
I know. I was thinking about like going to watch that yesterday, but I was like, but I want to see Black Phone 2 in theaters. So.
Well, it's English. It's Japanese dubbed with English subtitles.
Oh, interesting.
So
And you do see, this is kind of irrelevant, but a few of the same voice actors have been in Disney films as well.
yes, they usually get really good voice actors.
Yeah.
Like Willem Dafoe was in one that I watched recently.
But yeah, let's get into your guys' movie highs and movie lows.
High for me. I love the scene where she washes that big glob monster. It's really satisfying. Like even the sounds, like it lets you kind of like decompress your brain a little bit. Like instead of just like, oh, this scene looks cool. It's not even that it does look cool, but it also like it just like is in a way that's very satisfying.
It's like popping a metaphorical pimple.
Yes, if that's what you like. I'm not a big pimple guy. I don't like them that much.
That
So
much.
that scene, yeah,
You dabble.
it's a hobby. And then so there's that scene. I also really like the train going across the water. Oh, yeah, nothing to say there.
Does it for you.
Yeah, the music is great. And then the dragons, like all those scenes. I don't know. And then the ambiance of the bathhouse. I don't know if that's a favorite scene. I guess it's just any high, right? Any movie high. Like, I want to be there. It's so immersive. And it's animated. Like, there's a woman with the head the size of, 10 basketballs. And she seems realistic to me. And I want to go in. And she's, probably killing people in her free time. But I want to go in there and hug her. And I want to be a part of this bathhouse. And I want to sit with the radish. And maybe that's me saying I want to be slothful, right? I want to be lazy. But
Yeah.
maybe just for one day, like on my birthday.
What if life was a bathhouse? Yeah.
Life's a bathhouse. That's a new hat.
That's from the movie vault. Yeah, that'd be like the back part movie vault. Life's a bathhouse.
People could interpret that really poorly.
Yeah, they could, but that's okay. That's how we like to be interpreted poorly.
Hey, any publicity is good publicity.
Sounds like you don't have any lows, to be honest.
There's a low.
Okay.
Just the basement of the castle is a low.
Yeah, I don't really have many lows about this movie either. So I don't know why I took a half star off. Just just the vibes.
I think you came into this episode like wanting to make me upset.
I drove here today. How can I get under Zach's skin?
You just thought like
I didn't.
today's gonna be boring. I need to have some fun.
I didn't show him that review until I got here. I was not really planning on. I just kind of came to my mind.
No, 4.5 is great.
Yeah. The highs though, so many. But I think the beginning and the end of I really love the transition to the bathhouse, like, and that like eerie. I just kept thinking about that piano.
Yes.
I was just like, yeah, and I love the soundtrack so much.
Yes.
The soundtrack was like
that's all I do.
maybe like each viewing I'll have like a new revelation. But to me, this viewing it was all about the soundtrack. So that's what I think was the best part.
The score.
The score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any lows? No.
Not really that come to mind. No.
I mean, you gave it a 4, so what's that 1-star low, huh?
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
this was my first Studio Ghibli film. I feel like I'm not allowed to say any lows. But I feel like I would have made different. Obviously, this movie is so successful, and I'm glad I didn't make it because it would have done trash if I made it. But I wish No Face never spoke, even though he ate. I know he got the speaking from when he ate the frog. But I wish he was a little more mysterious, I guess.
Okay.
Him speaking it felt weird to me. It just felt off in like the other themes of the movie.
Yeah.
It felt like, oh, this character, he's obviously like a strong character, but it would have been even better if he was silent throughout the whole movie and his actions were all of his speaking.
Yeah.
Because all of his meaningful speaking were his actions. The speaking didn't add anything for it to me.
Okay.
But that wasn't enough to take off a whole star, obviously. That's
Well,
just one
seems
little
like
thing.
it was, but
I think the main thing was I wasn't like floored, you know? Like movies have to make me, I'm very emotional based rating, and so I either have to like be laughing the whole time, crying half the time, like having strong emotions for a movie to be a 5-star movie to me. And this movie didn't, like, there was no point where I was like, oh, that's gonna make me cry.
hey, that's okay. That's why we got to do this round table of how we rate movies.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. You rated Sinners very high, so that did that
Yes.
for you recently, huh?
Yes, I rated Sinners 4.5, and it yeah. Are we getting movie highlights now?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's get into movie highlights.
Okay.
It's a long episode anyway.
So I watched Sinners.
Oh yeah, I gotta go.
And I gave it a 4.5, and I watched it on a plane. If that says anything, like if I watched it in a theaters, it might have been a 5, but I think 4.5 is fair for it. The hype is deserved, in my opinion. I thought it was so good. Like, I was on the plane, and when the music was playing and stuff, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to stop. I'm like tapping my foot and like being annoying. But I really loved it. It was all, like Ben said in his Letterboxd review, it was beautiful cinema. I can't say that word ever.
Cinematography.
Thank you. But it was really cool the way it changed. Like, yeah, I won't spoil it for Zach, but
Yeah, it's funny because I've seen like every film this year except for the main one. You know, so.
But yeah.
Okay.
Is that the only movie you watched?
Oh, let me get into the rest.
Cricket.
I watched let me see. Oh, I watched Friendship. But that was, you know, I don't.
That new Marvel is nuts.
But yeah, and then I don't think I've watched any others since last time we did it, because I talked about how I watched Revenge of the Sith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I've watched since last time we did.
Well, you've been traveling a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
Do they have like movies in line at Disney? Or you don't use lines because you got the fast passes.
Yeah.
Never mind.
No, we don't do those as much anymore because we go so often.
Yeah.
But no, they don't have movies in line. But they'll have, like, you know, shorts that you wait in line to watch.
Just log those. I watched this short. Letterboxd will have it. This 2-minute short from Disney Park Ride.
Yeah.
Log it. It counts.
They'll log like, I woke up this morning. That's a movie, basically.
I did watch a documentary in class.
Okay.
Our teacher made us watch.
Yeah,
called
put that
Founders.
in. Put it in.
Yeah,
It
I watched.
counts. I logged all documentaries I watched in college.
Yeah, it's about the founding of the LPGA. This was for my history of women's sport class,
Okay.
and
All right.
the documentary was, you know, decently made. I gave it 2 stars.
Yeah.
It was, you know, an in-class documentary.
That doesn't sound that fun. But, okay. Well, I'll just go real quick. The Smashing Machine, Tron Ares, Good Boy. We talked in Black Phone 2. We talked about all those in the Vault Unlocked episode. I watched Elio, the new Pixar movie.
Was it good?
It was great.
Really?
I should watch
Great.
it.
3.5 stars. City Lights. I finally finished it. It's a really long Charlie Chaplin film.
Yeah.
An hour and a half. It was actually like there were a couple parts where I actually laughed, which is like really good. But it was really well made. Like, I forget that people were smart back then.
Yeah.
Really, like it's hard. Like, I think we have such chronological snobbery that Calvin says.
If you read books, you'll remember. But I feel like with movies, because of how how early they were in, you sometimes forget, because it's not like just because the craft was different doesn't mean like the thought behind it.
And they were
Yeah.
limited with technology.
Yeah. If only. So, and then Coraline. I love the movie Coraline. It actually kind of reminds me of Black Phone because she has to like release 3 kids' souls that are trapped that can't rest.
They love those plots.
So, yeah.
All right, I'll go real quick. I watched Chopping Mall, which is a really fun slasher where robots kill kids in a mall. It's fun. Then
3 stars. Wow.
I watched the T. West X trilogy. So it starts with X, decent, another slasher, really bizarre, weird, old, gross people as the villains. Pearl, which is the origin story in the second movie. I thought this is the one I gave the highest rating of the trilogy, but it's definitely the most unique of the three. It kind of pulls away from the storyline a little bit. Then I took a break from that and watched on the plane. I watched Delirious with John Candy. John Candy is the only reason I gave this movie 2.5 stars. The script is honestly terrible, but I just love John Candy so much. The Candidate, with Robert Redford, great movie. This is a fantastic. And the ending just nails it, which sometimes with these movies you're like the ending kind of misses. This one, the ending nails it. Charade, which is not a Hitchcock movie, but it feels very much like when Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn, just so fun, so colorful. It's set in Paris. It's an awesome movie. I love the Charade. And then I watched The Accountant, was my last plane movie with Ben Affleck. Such a stupid premise, but it's so fun. I mean, kind of not as stupid. It's kind of a serious premise, but also like dumb at this. I like the execution's a little off, but it's fun. And Then There Were None is a Agatha Christie based movie from the 40s. It was okay, decent, 3 stars. Maxine with 3 X's is the final movie in the X trilogy. It has a really good climax, but I mean, plot-wise, it might be a little bit lacking, but it's a fun movie. 28 Years Later, we talked about on our newest episode, Raiders of the Lost Shark, just an abominable shark movie by the king, Brett Kelly. Spirited Away, obviously, and then Black Phone 2, which we talked about.
Great. Well, for the sake of me leaving to get to my class, let's close the vault. Unless you have any last words. Oh, not Headman.
Point A Insurance, 614-448-6730. Let us quote you on your auto, home, business, renters, life insurance, or you can email me at ben@pointains.com.
Yes, and INS stands for inosine in purine metabolism.
Yep. And it stands for NSCENE for the movie vault.
Nice.
And we'll close.